Hi guys, it's Cath. Today I'm going to show you how to build a miniature kitchen range and a dishwasher. These are in 1 to 12 scale just like all my other scratch built models. The tutorial I'm showing you today does require 3D modeling, but I promise it's super simple and it's just a combination of really easy shapes. You can also use these same measurements to build these by hand. I love combining modern techniques and old school craftsmanship to create a truly one-of-a-kind mini. Let's get started. Let's make the dishwasher first. In Tinkercad, drop down a cube shape that's 2 inches wide by 2.5 inches high and just over 1 3/4 of an inch in depth. Then drop in a gray cube. This gray, almost invisible looking cube will cut away the material. I put it inside the red cube and stretch it out so that I'm leaving a thin 1/10 of a thick perimeter. Then take another red cube and stretch it out into a tiny thin bar. We'll use these as rails for the dishwasher racks. I'll make these green so you can easily see it here. We need 4 of these in total with 2 on each side. Place the bottom ones 1/4 of an inch from the bottom and the top ones 3/4 of an inch from the top. Now grab another gray cube and cut away a 1/4 inch thick strip from the center of the bottom side. This will be where our hinge sits. I promise this will make more sense as we go on. Let's build a dishwasher door. I start with a rectangle that's about 1/10 of an inch thick. Here you can truly customize the detail you want on the inside of the door. I cut away a thin rectangle, add a circle. You can honestly do anything you like here. I decided to add a base that's just a 2 inch by 2.5 inch rectangle. Then for the hinge, grab a cylinder shape. Shrink it down, flip it horizontally, and then place it on one of the shorter sides of your rectangle door. I turn this door blue so you can see it better here. Just to show you how it works, I flip this door upside down and place it on the dishwasher base. See how the hinge lines up here on both pieces? The cylinder should fit perfectly inside the space we cut out on the base. Now, just print out your creation. I've been doing more 3D printed projects because I love the precision of the technology. But you can also hand build this with materials such as wood. Just use these same measurements and use wood panels for the flat pieces, use round dowels for the cylinders, etc. I printed this design in both black and white so you can see the detail. You can also print this in metallic silver filaments. If you do that, you can avoid the next step. And that is to cover all these pieces in this beautiful contact paper. It looks just like stainless steel and is so easy to work with. It's just a peel and stick paper that's thick enough to hide uneven textures. I have a link down below. Stick it on and trim off the excess. I make sure to cover the edges as well. To make a handle for the dishwasher, I just take a cube, stretch it out, and cut away the top center section. Cover it in contact paper and glue it on. Attaching the door was hard to film properly, so I'll show you how I did it in this software. Once you have the lid in place, drill a deep hole through the side of the base. You'll want to make sure it reaches the door piece. Then simply stick a wire in there. Do this for the other side too. This is how the door opens and shuts. Now for the dishwasher racks. Of course, this is optional, but it adds so much fun detail to your minis. I take a cylinder shape and stretch it out. Copy and paste to get 10 of these. Then copy another one, turn it 90 degrees, and use it to close off one side. Do the same for the other side. Add 7 more of these across to create a grid pattern. Now I paste 2 more of these cylinders to start building up the sides. You can make it taller or shorter with more or less of these rails. The most important part is that the rack is no bigger than 1 3/4 of an inch by 1 1/2 of an inch. That's just to make sure that it will fit inside the dishwasher that we built. You can see here I decided to make the rails thicker and make the sides taller. Now let's print it. Check out that amazing detail. I printed 2 of these, one for the top rack and one for the bottom. Now let's build a range. This process starts off very similar to the dishwasher. Drop a cube and increase the size to 3 inches in length, 3 inches in width, and 2 1/4 inches in height. Grab a gray cutaway cube and place it inside the red one. Stretch it out to 2 3/4 of an inch in width, 1 3/4 of an inch in length, and 2 inches deep. Cut it away by grouping the red and gray cube together. Grab another gray cube that's 1/3 of an inch high and also 2 3/4 of an inch in width and 2 inches deep, just like our previous gray cube. Cut it away. This will be our warming drawer. Just like the dishwasher, I take some thin strips and add them inside the range on both sides as rack holders. I place 3 on each side. Now let's flip the sucker right side up so it's easier to see. To give the stove top some dimension, I grab another gray cube and place it at the top of the range. Intersect it with the red cube and cut away the top 1/10 of an inch, leaving just a small space at the back. Take another gray cube and place it at the center of the area we just cut out. Drop it down 1/10 of an inch and cut it away. This is where our burners will be. For those, I just used the cylinder shape to make a ring and a circle in the center. This miniature is inspired by the wolf range, so I'll be creating 6 burners. The main structure is now done. Let's print her out. Here she is in all her glory. I know, it doesn't look like much now, but just wait until we add in all the fun details. First, I spray painted the inside silver because it's easier than trying to get contact paper inside there. Then I cover all the exterior areas with that same stainless steel contact paper. Let's make a door for the oven. Grab a cube that's 1 3/4 of an inch by 2 3/4 of an inch. Decrease the height so it's only about 1/20 of an inch thick. Drop a 3/4 of an inch by 1 1/2 inch gray rectangle in the center to cut out an opening. Then make a few small cutouts for some tiny dollhouse hinges that we'll add. Once you print the door, just glue the hinges on. I use JB Weld for a super strong hold between the metal and the plastic. Now add on the stainless steel contact paper. You can also choose to add clear plastic in the middle section like I did. I just used clear plastic packaging for this. Then simply glue the door hinges on. Right above the door, we'll need some knobs. I made these by grabbing a cylinder, adding a diamond on top of that, and then a half circle on top of the diamond. This is what it looks like printed and painted in red. I made 6 of these for this piece. Simply glue them on. I have a different method for making the knobs turn, but I won't get into that in this video. For little tips and tricks that I don't show here, make sure to follow my Instagram. Next up, we'll need a warming drawer. For that, I just grab a red cube and make it 2 3/4 inch by 1 1/4 inch. Add a gray cube to cut out the inside. Then add a small front panel on one of the long sides. Next up is the handle for the oven door. I take a skewer and cut it down to 2 3/4 inch. Paint it silver. Cut off the round ends of a coffee stirrer. Glue one to each side of the handle. Paint those silver. Then simply add glue to those ends and attach it to the oven door. This next step is completely optional, but I decided to add a light inside the oven for a more realistic look. To do that, I first drill a hole from the back of the range into the oven area. I take one of these tiny diode lights and push it into the hole. Drill another hole into the back of the range into the warming drawer area. Let's stick the wires into this hole. To power this light, I'm using this coin battery case. Just insert some batteries. Connect the 2 wires from this battery pack to the 2 wires on the little lights. Now you can tuck the little battery pack inside the warming drawer. We're almost there. For the grate, I simply search Wolf Grate on Google Images. Tinkercad, which is the modeling software I'm using, allows you to import pictures. So I copy that picture and then turn it into an SVG file. Import that SVG file into Tinkercad. And there you go! You can now use that shape. How cool is that? I resized it to 1 3/4 inch by 2 3/4 inch and print it out. That was possibly the easiest step. Then just place it on top of your burners. For the oven racks, I just drop a cube that's 1 3/4 inch by 2 3/4 inch and about 1/10 inch thin. Cut out the center. Then add in a bunch of thin rails across the open space. We need 3 of these. Print them out. Then you can simply add them inside your oven. They fit perfectly. That's it. Your miniature kitchen now has 2 of the most important appliances. We just need a fridge to round this space out. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. In the next one, I'll be showing you how I built the massive dollhouse I've shown on my Instagram. I hope to see you then. Bye!